Recording in progress.
The 18th of April, Rabbi Ramban.
Okay, so we are right at the grand finale that the Ramban wants to make over here in his comments. So we're up to the words Umin, Hanisim, Hagadolim, Hamafursamim.
Okay, let me see if I can find that. Umin Hanisim. Yeah, I see.
Okay, good. So, continues the Ramban. So, what's the takeaway? This is another takeaway from the events of Yetzias Mitzrayim. And it's very, very important in light of the fact that he said before that Hashem doesn't do such nisim in every generation.
Right.
So we have to think about the nisim of Mitzrayim in every generation. What do we come out with, says the Ramban? Min hanisim hagedolim hamafursamim. From these nisim that are great and he says also, he adds the fact that they are well publicized, they are well known. Among the entire Jewish people, everybody knows about the Exodus from Egypt and what happened, and not only the Jewish people, but even other nations in the world. It's part of history. This is what happened. It's undeniable. From those great miracles, Adam Moda Benisim Hanistorim. A person will admit and acknowledge that there's such a thing as Nisim Hanistorim. There's such a thing as Nisim Hanistorim. Shehem Yesod HaTorah Kula. And they are the underlying foundationary principle of the entire Torah. The belief in Nisim Hanistorim. What does it mean, Nisim Hanistorim? So it's hidden. The nace is hidden. But it's a nace. What's it mean that it's a nace? It means that it happened because Hashem said that it should happen. That's why it happened.
Everything.
So just like it's clear to us. Just like a person would say, "Oh, the river turned to blood. The frogs came, and the lice, and the smiting of the firstborn, and Kriyas Yamsuf." One of the greatest miracles in all of history. Just like a person will acknowledge that this was not something that happened because the wind started to blow or because the geological conditions were such, or some sort of natural phenomena that happens. No, everyone will acknowledge that that was an act of God. That was something that Hashem did. So the idea is that if we are going to now acknowledge that such a thing happened, that Hashem did, and we cannot explain it any other way other than to say that Hashem decreed that that should happen, that's why it happened, then we have to come to the conclusion that, in fact, everything which happens that we see is really also something that Hashem wanted to happen, and he decreed that it should happen. We say that but it happens like that all the time. That's what we call nisim nistorim. That's a hidden miracle. The miracle is hidden because people think that since it conforms to the laws of nature, it's not a miraculous occurrence that Hashem decreed. But the Ramban is telling us that no, that from the fact that we acknowledge that Hashem is involved and Hashem does miracles such as Kriyas Yamsuf and the Eser Makos, therefore we should come to an understanding and an acknowledgement that everything that happens in the world is because of no other reason other than the fact that Hashem also decreed that that should happen. That's Nisim Nistorim. And this is the Yesod of Kol Torah Kula. Continues the Ramban. She'ein la'adam chelik b'Toras Moshe Rabbeinu ad shenamin b'kol divorenu u'mikrenu shekulam nisim ebem teva u'minhago shel olam bein barabim bein beyochid. This is a foundation of the entire Torah, that a person has no part he has no portion in the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu until he understands and acknowledges and has emunah in the fact that kol divarenu umikrenu, everything that happens, kulam nisim, they are all nothing but miracles. Ein behem teva uminhago shel olam, because there's no such thing as things just running on automatic pilot according to the laws of nature. In other words, there's really no such a thing as the law of nature. What does the law of nature say? The law of nature says that, this is the way that things are supposed to go, and they're going to go like that, and we could predict that tomorrow it's also going to go like that, because that's the law of nature. That's the way it works. It's built into the world. That's the way it's going to work, because we've already experimented. We already have acknowledged that this is the way the world works, and therefore we can predict that tomorrow the same thing will happen. Well, who was able to predict Kriyas Yamsuf? Was there anybody who was able to predict Kriyas Yamsuf? That was something that was built into the Bria? That was going to happen? I don't think so. That was something that was not able to be predicted, except by Moshe Rabbeinu, who said that who Hashem told that this is what's going to happen.
I have an interesting footnote. In his commentary, you know what? Echo here. Have you moved your speaker or your microphone recently?
It's on Realtek microphone, Realtek speaker.
Okay. And you haven't moved them.
No?
Okay. Well, it stopped now. I'm not sure why. Maybe when you checked it, it reset something. Anyway, let me continue. In his commentary on Bereshis 18:19 and on Eov 36:7, Ramban writes that all people but the truly righteous are abandoned to chance occurrences and the natural order of the world. This ostensibly contradicts his position here. However, in Chachma Umusar 2, 214, Rav Simcha Zissel Ziv suggests that Ramban there means that ordinary people do dwell under the aegis of divine providence, but in the sense that providence determines precisely the extent to which each person is subject to the natural order, all in accordance with his personal spiritual level. And then there's a bunch of references.
Oh, they're saying there's something that the Ramban said somewhere else that contradicts what he's saying here.
Right. And then they reconcile it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the definitive statement of what the Ramban said on this subject. I don't even know that reference that you're talking about because it's not. This is the statement that all the that all our Gedolei Yisrael have taught us about.
Right.
This is the true and accurate tradition about Emunah in Hashem.
Right.
So, Bein Barabim, Bein Beyochid. What does that mean exactly? There's a note over here. I also have notes. Moshe Rabbeinu b'hakdamaso l'sefer Eov. Ki ein hefresh be'iyun bein shenemar ploni tzadik yimale yomov v'yichya shmonim shana b'hashket u'b'shalva u'ploni she'ochal truma yomos. Okay.
Sounds similar to what I read.
Ein hefresh be'iyun bein shenemar ploni tzadik yimale. Ploni tzadik lived 84 years of serenity and tranquility. Uploni she'ochel truma, and the Ploni who ate truma, he's not a Cohen, so someone who azar who's ochel truma is a misa mina shemayim. So there's no difference between those two things. There's no difference between those two things. Ubein kriyas yamsuf. Veredis man. Redis aman. Arbaim shana. All these things are are part and parcel of the Nisim Nistorim that make up Hashem's world. Upsukim Bahaserosi Machla Mikirbecha, and I will remove sickness from your midst. Vishalachti Dever Besochachem, and I will send a pestilence amongst you. That was one pasuk, was a pasuk in both of them are from the Chumash. Ein hefresh bein kalu tfilas David ben Yishai utfilasai b'kol yom ubein kol hanisim kulam. There's no difference between all of the nisim. Each nace, I guess what he means to say is that in terms of Hashem, from Hashem's perspective, which is the absolute perspective, there's really no difference between the nace of Kriyas Yamsuf and the nace that a tzaddik lives 80 years in tranquility and serenity, and that somebody who does a serious avera, he passes away. Those are all equal in their miraculous nature. They're all nisim. One is a nes golui, Kriyas Yamsuf, and the other ones are nisim nistorim. Whether it happens to many, whether it happens to an individual. Continues the Ramban. Ela im yaseh hamitzvos yatzlichenu scharo. If a person will do the mitzvahs, so then the schar that the mitzvah acquires for him will give him hatzlacha. Ve'im ya'avor aleihem yachrisenu onsho. But if he violates the mitzvahs, he transgresses, so then his the retribution will have its effect. Yachrisenu will cut him off. Hakol b'gzeres elyon. Now, I'm not sure what the Ramban over here. I'm sure he doesn't mean to disagree with the Gemara in Kedushin that Rabbi Yaakov says schar mitzvah b'chai al maleka, and this is what we hold, that the schar for a mitzvah is not in this world. The schar for a mitzvah is not in this world. So we don't say that he will definitely a life of serenity and tranquility. We don't say that, because the schar for the mitzvah that he does is not given in this world. It's given in the next world. But perhaps what the Ramban means to say is that in the next world, he since the mitzvahs that he did in this world, so he will definitely have the schar that will give him hatzlacha. Not sure, because generally when we talk about hatzlacha, hatzlacha is in this world.
Right. I mean, the English really makes it seem like it's in this world. The English says, rather, if one observes the commandments, his reward will bring him success and if he transgresses them, his punishment will destroy him. I suppose you could read it, his reward will bring him success in the world to come.
Yeah, that's the ultimate hatzlacha, I guess. That's what Ramban is saying. Basically, in other words, the Ramban is saying a person never loses from doing a mitzvah, and he never gains from doing an avera. He doesn't lose from doing a mitzvah. He always gains from it. He always has hatzlacha from it. He always has schar, and that's hatzlacha. And in avera, he always has onish and chorus from it. Sometimes we see wicked people have great hatzlacha in this world, and we see righteous people that don't. Also, that's not a problem. That's because the schar for the mitzvahs and the onish for the averis is not in this world.
I have a footnote. Ramban is saying that it is through the aforementioned hidden miracles that God dispenses reward and punishment. Indeed, he writes this explicitly above. The rewards of the entire Torah and its punishments in this world are all miracles, and they are hidden. And that's coming from 6:2.
Six two.
Yeah, I guess it's chapter 6, pasuk 2.
We're in Shmos.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking 6:2. Doesn't seem to be relevant. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. It just says Hashem spoke to Moses and said to him, I am Hashem. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be relevant. I'm not sure what the reference means.
Well, the Ramban has a long piece on that pasuk.
Right. Yeah,
The,
I see there's a long commentary on it. Or maybe it's buried in here somewhere. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. It's in this lengthy thing. It says, for if a man would be left in his natural fate or to his astrological fortune, his deeds would not add or detract anything from him and his lot. Rather, the reward and punishment in this world mentioned throughout the Torah are all miracles, but they are considered by observers as occurring because of the natural order of the world. While in reality, they are specially decreed upon man as reward or punishment.
Mm.
And it is because of this that the Torah speaks at length about the promised rewards that are to take place in this world. That's pretty
Okay.
clear. And does not mention explicitly the promised rewards for the soul that will take place in the world of the souls.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that the see there's this, I think we spoke about this once. Elu dvorim she'en lem elu dvorim the where's the sitter? Sitter says yeah. This is found in the in what we say after Birkas Torah. After Birkas Torah, we say this statement. It's actually a Gemara in Shabbos. Elu dvarim she'adam ochel peosehem ba'olam hazeh v'keren ke'ayem es lo l'olam haba. These are the mitzvahs that a person he eats the peros of the mitzvah in this world. V'keren kayemis lo l'olam haba. But the principle of the reward for the mitzvah that he did is untouched. It remains for him in olam haba. What we see from here is that there's two aspects of schar for a mitzvah. What I said before, that the Gemara in Kedushin says schar mitzvah b'hai al maleka, that there's no schar for a mitzvah in this world. That's talking about the keren of the schar. The main schar that is reserved for olam haba. But what this Gemara in Shabbos teaches us is that there are peros that are paid out in this world for mitzvahs that are done. So there's two types of schar. There's schar which we call peros, and there's schar which we call the keren. And so what the Ramban is talking about over here is the schar of the peros for a mitzvah that is done in this world.
But that only applies to a very small number of mitzvahs.
Well, that's what this Gemara here would seem to imply if you just read it on its face value. But upon further analysis, we find that this principle applies in many, if not all mitzvahs, depending on how the mitzvah is done, etc., etc.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what the Ramban is referring to, the schar of the mitzvah which is paid out in this world. That's how the Art Scroll is also understanding it. And the fact that the person has hatzlacha, he has success in this world. So we're saying that that's attributable to the mitzvahs that he does, and that is a hidden miracle. It's not based upon matters of teva and natural cause and effect and conventional wisdom. It's his hatzlacha is based upon the mitzvahs that he does and the avodas Hashem that he does. That's a nace. That's really a nace, because Because why? Because according to the laws of Teva, that's doing a mitzvah has nothing to do with the person having success. Person has success if he does X, Y, and Z according to conventional wisdom. And but the Ramban is telling us that no, the success that he has is not because he may have done X, Y, and Z. And if you read the newspaper, they'll say that the reason why he had a success is because of X, Y, and Z. But the Ramban is revealing to us this is not true. The reason why he has success is because if he does mitzvahs, yatzlichenu scharo. That's the reason why, and that is one of the hidden miracles of the Torah. And a person has to have a emunah that this is the way that the world runs. This is the way things go. The world doesn't run on X, Y, and Z in conventional wisdom. It runs the way Hashem decrees it to run. And the Ramban is revealing to us that this is the way that the world runs. Continues the Ramban. Hakol b'gzeras elyon, kasher izkarti kvar. Says the Ramban, everything is based upon the decree from above. Hakol b'gzeras elyon. And he says, kasher izkarti kvar. I've already mentioned this previous in my commentary. I have a note here that says he already mentioned this principle in Parshas Lech Lecha and in Parshas Va'era. V'yisparsamu hanisim hanistorim be'inyan harabim kasher yavo B'Yehudei HaTorah B'Inyan HaBrachos VaHaKlolos. Moshe Amar HaKosev V'Yomru Kol HaGoyim. No, what's he saying over here? He's Farsamu Hanisim Hanistorim B'Inyan Harabim. Kasher Yavo B'Yehudei HaTorah. The Nisim Nistorim, these hidden miracles, will go public. They will be publicized. Kasher Yavo B'Yehudei HaTorah. When the destiny of the Torah will be confirmed in the brachos and the klolos. What does he mean by that? He gives us an example. Kamosha Omar HaKosuv, like the pasuk says, V'Yomru Kol HaGoyim, Al Meh Asa Hashem Kacha La'aretz Hazos. This is a pasuk at the end of the Torah. And the nations will see well, let's take a look at this pasuk. This is a pasuk in Devorim Chavtes Yud Gimel. We don't have too much time, but okay. Let's see.
Health tests, Yud Gimel. Health tests, Yud Gimel. Not with you alone do I forge this covenant and this oath, but with whoever is here standing with us today before Hashem our God, and with whoever is not here with us today.
Move in. I got you to Leib on the phone. Oh, you're still in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's in the middle of,
There's no Rashi.
38. Tough test, Yud Gimel. Tough test, Yud Gimel. Yeah, so this is in Parshas Nitzavim. And Klal Yisrael is entering into a bris with Hashem.
Wait, is it Yud Gimel or is it Chaf Gimel? My
It's
English says 29:23.
No, 29:13.
Okay.
Um, yeah, actually, it doesn't. Maybe I'm.
I think it's 23, Rabbi. 23 says, and all the nations will say, for what reason did Hashem do this to the land? Why
Yeah.
wrathfulness and great anger? They will say, because they forsook the covenant of Hashem, the God of their forefathers, that he sealed with them when he took them out of the land of Egypt.
Yeah, that's the pasuk that he's quoting in his commentary. I guess the note is wrong.
Well, your note is wrong, but the note I have says 23.
Or maybe the notes are whatever it is. Okay, doesn't matter. So the point over here that the Ramban is showing is that even Kol HaGoyim, all the nations, are going to say, "Look at what happened to Klal Yisrael. Look at the
Desolation of the land.
and they're going to attribute it. They're going to attribute it to the fact that they violated what was commanded to them by Hashem in the Torah.
Right.
Why should they say that that's the reason why they suffered this fate? Maybe it was because their army wasn't good enough. Maybe it was because their economy wasn't functioning the way it was supposed to be. Maybe that because there was division amongst the leaders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All the things that of conventional wisdom would dictate why it was that this happened, this event occurred, this result.
Right. So in the case of the communal effects, it's less hidden. Anyway, I think our time is up, Rabbi. I wanted to ask you about next week. Rabbi first says that Ben Azmanim goes to Rosh Chodesh. Is that your understanding also?
Yes.
Okay, so do you want to keep the same schedule for next week? 11 to 12?
Okay. Okay. That's what he wants.
He's going to keep the same schedule, 10 to 11.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. There's Hashem.
All right, great. Have a good Shabbos and have a good Yom Tov.
Okay, you too, Lou. Shvi Shel Pesach, Kriyas Yam Suf.
Yeah. You want to continue with this Ramban next week, or you want to do something different?
Yeah, let's we'll wrap it up. It's almost at the end.
Yeah, and it's not only specific to Pesach,
Oh no.
not by any means. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
See you.
Okay.